Hello everyone, this is Mark from Cedar Creek Bottoms Farmstead with another fireside chat. Hope everyone's doing okay today. Back a little chilly. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Last few weeks been fairly warm. 70s, 80s. People back out with their shorts on, and nights you back to just get by with a long sleeve shirt. The winter's coming back in this week. Supposed to go back down to about 34 tonight, and in the 20s this weekend, and that should get animals moving again. They're gonna have to start looking for food. So with that, hopefully that'll get the boogers stirred back up a little bit. We'll see. I hope y'all have enjoyed the last couple of videos. One where me and Rebecca walking around down here on our property. I'm gonna do that again, just to see if anything's changed. I'll probably do that this weekend, do a little walkabout. This is late in the evening. I wanted to do, I try to do this when I come down here to video. I kind of want to do it late in the evening, just because we might get something. What I'm gonna do with the phone today, I'm gonna just kind of move it around on the, pick the whole tripod up instead of trying to move the phone. Might make it easier on me. Two, I'm listening. Maybe me being closer to the woods too, maybe we can hear something. Anyway, I hope you like the blacksmithing. I hate that the mic acted up some. We figured out what's going on with that mic. It's probably gonna get you thrown in the garbage. I don't know if I can repair it or not. I may have to carry it to work and look at it. We got a very good magnifying glass there at work. I might stick it up on there and see where the wires broke at. I don't know if it's even worth. I don't even know if it's even worth working on. So I didn't have a whole lot to talk about on this video. So it's probably going to be a fairly short one. Of course, we're in the Christmas time of the year. Everybody's busy. I was glad David was able to be on. Glad that he was able to be on that Saturday before. Haven't got to go anywhere much the past week. It's been off and on raining here. Ain't even been up on the hunting club now in 2 weeks. I got to get up there and really start doing me some hunting. And there's so much going on. It's that time of year. Everybody's busy. So probably gonna be out the first of the year before I can get anybody else on video. Just probably gonna be after the first of the year. Just so much going on. Hopefully my kids are coming down for Christmas, so hopefully me and Jonathan can get out in the woods a little bit, maybe get some videos from different places. Me and him may go up on top of Skyway while he's here looking around, because I've got some reports from up there on top of Skyway. That's out in Talladega National Forest. My friend Adam, him and his family went and done a little hike back in late October, 1st of November. Was hearing some whoops and tree knocks. So me and Jonathan may go up there and walk around, just look while he's here for the Christmas holidays. But it's gonna be cold here next weekend. Woo! I think I seen Friday morning before Christmas Eve, low of 14. Christmas Eve, low of 16. Not getting above freezing for 2 days. Be some good hunting days if you can stand it. Animals will have to move to eat. Guess what else has to move during that time, I bet you, is the boogers. Yeah, I know we're talking about there's more to them than just, you know, being flesh and blood, but still they flesh and blood, they got to eat. And you know, just like I do, when it gets real cold, your body's got to have fuel. I mean, you know, the deer, coons, all that, they'll go to feeding heavy. They'll go to feeding heavy. Well, I'm assuming them boogers gonna go to feeding heavy too. So, dog's down here with me. She's in the woods, so there's nothing down here right now. I'm gonna say it. You know, if it was, she would probably be out here with me. She actually went in the woods over there, so that's interesting. So, plus I'm watching this phone, see if it malfunctions while we're down here. I'm, you know, doing an experiment. Me and Spencer have been discussing that back and forth. I'm doing a little experiment with batteries and cameras to see if they malfunction or something goes on. We'll see what happens today. Later on, I'll come out and give the data from it. I know at least 3 times that cameras have malfunctioned, and I have a battery out here that I'm watching, but we'll go into that in a later video in depth. Vibration. I know on a few of the shows I've been asking people during activity or encounter, did they notice a vibration? And I'm talking about a vibration actually that you feel from the ground, or that electrified feeling in the air. I've been asking that question on some of the different podcasts and live shows. Have noticed a lot of yeses to that. So I'm gonna keep asking. I want to get a pretty good consensus on that before I come out and say something about that. And this is a tool that we can learn maybe to help us determine when they're around. Maybe we'll feel the vibration before we notice the activity. That's something I'm gonna have to really get down. I need to call some of the people that I took reports from years ago and ask them, did they notice any vibration during their encounter or sighting or whatever was going on. I know that at different times, me and Keith experienced it on the hunting club. Other people have experienced it. And like I said, I asked on some of the lives and some on other podcasts. And it's something I'm looking at. May not mean nothing. I don't know. Then again, it might mean something. I know down at Hollins, the two different outings had vibrations happen during the night. Strange. Just very strange. That's something, if y'all watching different podcasts or lives, and ask that question and let me know. You know, because I tell you, I can't keep up with every YouTube channel is talking about, you know, talking about paranormal or inhumanoids or cryptids. I can't keep up with every one of them. And so some of these that other people are watching, if you've taken part in their live chats, ask that question. Are they experiencing a vibration that they can feel through the ground, you know, with activity, encounter, or sighting, preferably before it happens? Something to think about. Any of y'all that's turkey hunted or been around turkeys, when the gobbler does his drumming, you can actually, when he's very close drumming, and I'm talking about a wild turkey, I hadn't noticed it really that much with a tame turkey, that you can feel that drumming through the ground coming. And I know a lot of people may be confusing. You know, I know some people talk about hearing the humming in the woods, and that could be it, and it's causing a vibration. I don't know. You know, it's just like me and Pat was hearing all that thumping up on the club a few months ago. That thump, 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 thump. I mean, you know, I don't know what that was. So something to think about. Because what I'd like to do is see if it is with the boogers, or if it's more paranormal, which, I mean, boogers are probably getting kind of classified as paranormal now with a lot of people. So something to think about, something to really think about. Like I said, I'm not going to do a big long video today. We're getting into the holidays, so hopefully maybe next weekend I'll have a better video for you. It's just been kind of rough. I mean, like I said, it's been raining a lot. Had a lot going on. Lord, I think, let's see, hot water heater, leaking shower faucet, 2 trucks in the shop, helped my stepdaughter install a washing machine. Lord, I don't know what all else in the last week and a half. I mean, every day seemed like, and I got a couple of things I need to be doing right now. December kind of been a busy month. Been going to parades, been going to, my city activities I have to do, just a good bit. It's been, I mean, the little town we live in had their Christmas tree lighting, then Sylacauga had their Christmas parade last weekend, and then tonight is Childersburg's Christmas parade, and of course that's my mother's hometown. Been busy month, plus work. We've had a lot going on. If anything y'all like for me to do a video on, put it in the comments. I was sitting here trying to think. I tell you what, while we on in a minute, let me talk about one other thing. Let me talk about this a minute. In fact, go ahead and tell it, because last Friday night when I was on the Encrypted Connections, was talking about how it seems like the boogers, Bigfoot, seems to come up around women. So let me talk about those two. Let me talk about 2 instances from the club. First one was, we had a guy that got in the club. I'm not going to call his name. This was back around 2009 and 10, 11, in that time period. He was from down around the Montgomery area. He was looking for a club to turkey hunt in, because down towards South Alabama, a lot of clubs have a turkey membership, and then they have a deer hunting membership, and it gets into some money. You get down below Montgomery and on down South Alabama, you can pay up to $2,000 or $3,000 just to hunt. It's ridiculous for hunting clubs. Our hunting clubs kind of getting too high, but for what type of land we have. But and I'm not knocking it, it's just the way it is. But anyway, he was looking for a place that offered a deer turkey hunt, any all hunting membership, where he could enjoy both, and plus a place that his wife could come with him, because she hunted with him some. So anyway, he contacted me, and I showed him the hunting club, and he joined, and he had a little camper trailer that he brought and put up on the club. That way he could come, because living in Montgomery, a little over an hour away, and plus I think he was retired, and plus he'd have that camper where when she'd come, she'd have, be comfortable too. So he joined the club, and the first year I didn't really hear him say anything off much about anything. He deer hunted, he turkey hunted. I'd see him here and there. And well, the next year, We done got on up in the deer hunting season a little bit. It was probably about the 1st of December, maybe going on in the middle of December. And I pulled up one day about lunchtime, going to hunt the rest of the afternoon. And he happened to be at his camper, and he heard me pull up, and he come walking out there, and he said, "Hey, Mark, I want to talk with you a minute." And I said, "Okay." At the time, I was president of the hunting club, so I figured he done had some kind of issue with another member or something. And y'all have heard me mention about the college boys that was part of the club, and they had a little camper next door to him, so I figured he was fixing to fuss about them staying up late at night, you know, out there with a fire being loud. But he said, "I want to talk to you." He said, "What's all this rock clicking, howling at night?" And he said, "I got stuff walking by my camper. I've had my camper door fooled with at night." And he said, "One night I even woke up during the middle of the night and my camper door was open." He said, "From now on, I've been locking it." He said, "What's on this club?" Or I think he said, "What's up here?" Well, I kind of looked at him and I said, "Well, you ain't gonna believe me when I tell you." I said, "Bigfoot, boogers." He said, "Yeah, that's what I thought it was." I said, "What do you mean what you thought it was?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "That's what I figured." He said, "I done dealt with them before." I said, "Oh, have you?" He said, "Yeah, I have." You know what, he told me a little bit about his other dealings with them down there in South Alabama. He said, "Well, as long as they ain't bothering me, I ain't gonna bother them." He said, "I'll leave them be." He said, "I've been wondering, I've been hearing all this rock clicking and been hearing howls at night back in there toward the lake." And he said, "Especially when things went to messing with my camper." He said, he told me about a big silhouette that walked by one night, and then one time he could hear something fiddling with the door. And then, of course, woke up one night with the door open. And like he said, "Now I may have not shut the door good, and it may have opened on its own." He said, "I ain't gonna say they done that one." But he said, "I don't know." But the kicker to this is his wife was coming up hunting with him some. And she came up one day. I think she stayed with him, you know, the night before. And I think they hunted on one part of the club in the morning. And then after lunch, they decided to hunt other parts of the club. Well, he carried her down to a green patch. It's down a long road, very long road. You had to, pretty good little walk down there. I'd say a good 3/4 of a mile down to a green patch. It's on a big ridge. A lot of deer been killed off that green patch. Very productive green patch. One reason because it's way off the road. And she had a pop-up shooting house. Y'all seen them. These little that you can have put up in 5 minutes and be sitting in. Well, she carried that with her. She put her, I think he actually took her down there on the four-wheeler so far and then let her off, and she walked the rest of the way. Then he went over to another part of the club to hunt with the four-wheeler. And she wasn't far from the clubhouse. Old Century may have come checked her out, I don't know. She'd been sitting in there maybe 10 or 15 minutes inside her shooting blind, and she hears these footsteps coming behind her, coming down the road toward where she's at. Well, she thinks it's her husband, so she speaks. Well, she don't get an answer. So it makes her a little nervous. Well, about that time, she sees the side of her shooting blind start pushing in, like something's taking its hands and pushing in on that. Well, of course, she freaks out. She says, "Whoever you are, I have a rifle and I will shoot you." Well, about whatever it was, turns and starts running. And she said it was bipedal. There's no way. She said, "You hear it get over in the bushes." Well, she comes out the shooting house, rifle ready, looks around. She said about that time she gets a growl from inside the woodline, you know. And you have to remember during this time period, it's an old cutover, so the pines are probably up in the 7, 8, 9, 10 foot range. It's thick with blackberry briars, honeysuckles, all the weeds that come up. So she's freaking out, getting growled at. So she takes off up the road getting it. Gets on the phone, calls her husband, tells her, this thing, there's something down here with me. It's growling at me. It's walking parallel with me, but I can't see it. He says, well, I'm on the way. He said, if this thing tries to charge you or try to come out, shoot it. He said, put a bullet in it. Well, she keeps on getting it. Now, he's on the other side of the hunting club, so it's going to take him 15, 20 minutes to get to where she's at. So this woman covers some ground. She makes it back to the clubhouse before he can get there with a four-wheeler. So I don't know if she went to running some or what. Of course, she's tore up. This thing followed her all the way to the clubhouse. It just stayed enough out in the woods to where she couldn't make eye contact with it. It would growl. It would, break limbs, snatch limbs. Followed her all the way up there. Well, he calls me. He said, Mark, he said, talk to you a minute about a little situation that happened on the club. I said, okay. He said, and he told me what took place. And he said, my wife doesn't want to hunt up here no more. I said, well, I can see that. I said, I hate that. He said, it means that I won't be a club member after this year. He said, I'm going to finish out my hunting season. She probably won't come back with me. He said, and she's telling me not to come back up here and hunt. She's wanting me to come on and get the camper now. But he said, I done paid this money. And he said, he said, we got we got a little while left of deer season. We got turkey season. So I want to finish my year out. I said, I understand. He said, now I may not stay no more at night. He said, I may just drive up and hunt and then drive home. He said, I ain't made my mind up on that. I said, well, I hate it. I really hate it. I don't know what to tell you. He said, there ain't nothing you can tell her. He said, them things live here. It's their home. He said, I don't know why that one acted the way it did. He said, may have been something going on down in there today or something. I said, well, I hate it. All right. So he ended up finishing out the year and hadn't talked to the man since. Here's another one. Another lady with her husband. They've been club members for a while. They came up to hunt one afternoon. And I need to talk about number 4 field. Y'all gonna hear about number 4 field over probably the next month or two. You're gonna hear some more about number 4 field. You're gonna find out there's a lot went on around number 4 field. Anyway, a lady and her husband come up to hunt. She decided she wanted to sit on number 4 field. Number 4 field is a pretty good field. It's a field in a creek bottom, right next to a road. Had a very good shooting house on it. Pretty good deer activity on it. So her husband drops her off. She walks out and gets in the shooting house. He goes on up. I think he went on up about a mile past her to another green field to sit on it. She said she had been sitting in there maybe an hour. It was quiet, peaceful. About this time on the other end of the field, and this field is probably one of our bigger fields on the club, probably in the 50, 60 yard length, probably. Half a football field, maybe a little more across it. And she's sitting in the shooting house, and all of a sudden she sees this figure, this blackish figure that she said was full of hair, step out in the edge of that field, looking at her, and then it squatted, just kind of squatted down and sit there and looked at her. Of course, she's like, oh my God, I'm looking at a monkey. That's what she described, a big monkey on 2 legs. Of course, she gets nervous, tore up. She calls her husband, says, hey, there's this big monkey things on the other end of the field, squatted, looked at me, said it walked in on 2 legs, squatted down, and it's staring at me. Well, about that time, while she was on the phone with him, she started hearing bipedal walking behind the shooting house. And she said it was close. And boy, it freaked her out. She told, get over here now. I'm not getting out of this shooting house. She said, get over here now. And he said, well, I'm on the way. He said, you know, give me a minute. I'll be there quick as I can. So, of course, he jumps in his truck and he's on the way. Well, as soon as she hangs up the phone, the one on the field gets back up, turns, and walks back in the woods. And then she hears the one that we suspect was the one behind her walk off. This is right after she got off the phone with her husband. Also, she told him, be sure to announce yourself when you get here. I think she was ready to pull the trigger. So there's 2 instances from our club where 2 women, one didn't see it, but had all that going on. I asked the first one, her husband, did she smell anything or anything else going? Didn't smell nothing, didn't notice nothing until all that started taking place. The one in the shooting house never smelled nothing. She would not pull the gun up and look at it through the scope. All she could tell me, she thought it was around the 6.5 to 7 foot tall. She said it was lanky looking, muscular, lanky looking, blackish brown color. She said it was full of hair from head to toe. So y'all think about those 2 encounters there. That's 2 women, 2 places, probably a couple of miles apart on the hunting club, afternoons. It was cool. Sun was out, wasn't a cloudy day or nothing. Very interesting, very interesting. What was them boogers up to? What were they up to? Just something to think about on that. Well, y'all, it's fixing to be complete dark on me, and I got to go feed dogs and get ready to go to the Chillersburg Christmas parade. So be thinking about vibrations. If you're doing videoing, watch your cameras. See if they act up when something's around. Like I said, we'll get into that down the road. Be thinking about why those 2 boogers done what they did to those women that day. Because we've done figured out they come around women and kids. Well, I hope everybody has a good weekend. It's gonna be a little cool, so y'all stay warm. Remember my friend Chris Reinhardt with Discover Sasquatch. He's back on. He's had a couple of good folks on. Had some very good, interesting talks going on there. Guys over at Beast TV. They're not having a video. They're not doing a live tonight. And I think last week they had a rerun. I think they're just taking a break because of the holidays, and I don't blame them. I'll tell you, just filming and editing and doing all the, boy, it's work. It's work. Especially when equipment don't act right. Also, last week I was on Encrypted Connections with Kyle Connolly. I hope I pronounced that right, up in Connecticut where Chris Reinhardt's at. Enjoyed being on that show. Y'all go watch it. Give Chris, go check his channel out. He's got some good stuff going on. He does a little bit of everything. Real nice fella. Enjoyed talking to him. Look forward to talking to him some more. So y'all go. And Janelle, thank you for telling him about me. And because I like sharing what knowledge I got. And we hadn't scratched the surface. We got a lot to talk about. But I'm wanting some of the people that's happened to for them to talk about it. So we'll get there. We're going to get there. Well, everybody, I'm going to get off here. I hope y'all have a good weekend. Give us a subscribe, like, share, hit that notification button, and give us a comment. please give us a comment. It helps us grow. Give us a like, because that helps us grow too, to get out to more people. Rebecca wasn't able to do a homesteading video this week. Of course, some of y'all know she went to work for a company that's fixing to open a business here in Childersburg. Well, I'll just say Tractor Supply. Going to be the biggest one in Alabama. She's going to be working in the garden section. So if y'all in Childersburg, after the first of the year, drop in, speak to her. So she loves gardening, and that'll be a good place for her to work for a little while. And also, any of y'all, her account on Facebook got permanently closed because somebody hacked her, put some very vulgar stuff on there. She tried to go in, create a new profile, and I guess the AI on Facebook just kept kicking her out. I think it's when she's tried to go back to her friends and me sending, and when we, sent us requests, that it just killed her. She's tried everything she's known, even tried to call that phone number that Facebook has, and of course it runs you around in circles. So she is without Facebook. I know she had a lot of customers for jewelry and for other different things. It's really kind of fouled her up. That teaches us that we don't need to put all our eggs in one basket. So, I mean, I'm not saying she done nothing wrong. What I'm saying is, we get dependent on one thing and it can mess us up. The bad thing about it, the marketing for the farm is, Facebook's the easiest. So, that kind of throw the monkey wrench in everything. Hopefully, maybe she can get back on later. We still have our Cedar Creek Bottoms farm page. So if you got any questions or want to send something, I'll have to be the one to kind of watch it. So I'm going to have to start trying to check it every day and keep up with it. So just to let y'all know about that. If you're trying to get in touch with her, she don't have Facebook Messenger no more, so you might need to send me the message or send me an email, and then I can relay the message to her, or I can give you her phone number or whatever we need to do. So, well, y'all, I'm gonna get off here, quit rambling. So, hope you enjoyed about those 2 encounters I told you about from the hunting club. Maybe I can go up one day and show you that number 4 field and show you that other place where that lady had that encounter. Of course, that was back before 2013 when all that took place. So that landscape's gonna be changed some. But anyway, y'all have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time. This is Mark from Cedar Creek Bottoms Farmstead with another fireside chat. Bye-bye.